Like different access of information online, we have different levels of trust with certain people. And we use different types of filters with these people because we know how they are. They receive different aspects of the same truth. It's the same picture, just each is viewing it in a different way, like passing by a piece of art in the museum. Because you show no interest in it, you go right on by, while others will spend different lengths of time looking at it. Some appreciate one masterpiece, another, it's not their taste. Every person has an interpretation of the same work of art. Because I realize that what I'm about to say will sound a lot like Jerry in a conspiracy theory about all the conspiracies that he informed Alice of. And what's interesting about his case is that he guessed correctly. Even though he might have misinterpreted details of reality, in the majority of the cases, what's important is that he saw one shard of reality that was right on, that was a very clear pain. And what's important about this example of Jerry is what 360-degree thinkers experience on a regular basis. They preemptively problem solve and imagine all the different scenarios, and when one of those scenarios plays out, they are more prepared for whatever may come their way. What's also important to remember is that we need to be aware of all the different possibilities and not be so narrow-minded as to see just one shard of reality. And having that perspective, or that ability to see things from different angles, also helps in better decision making. But you need to be careful with the information that you have at hand. And in Jerry's case, one important element was his sharing of that information. And what's interesting about Jerry, and also fortunate for Alice, is he wasn't sure about the details, but he had a hit. And he had prepared a safe room, which saved the day in one case when, excuse the language, the shit hit the fan. September 12th of that first year was a bad day. It also made me realize that I needed to take certain precautions with the logs that I was keeping. What if someone were hacking into me? So I encrypted digital copies, placed them in different lockboxes of different types, and stashed them in undisclosed locations, only known to me and those connected to me on the internet, and a few witnesses know the location and combinations of these lockboxes in different locations. My safety nets, in case of an unfortunate incident, either loss of original copies or my extra handwritten copy by any natural or man-made incident. Each witness knows different levels of information about what's going on. One knows just that there is a lockbox, no knowledge about its contents. Another knows general information about the internet members and a vague description of initial contacts and transmissions. And yet another person knows exactly who the internet members are, has seen pictures of them, has seen the evidence I would present to researchers once that time arrives. None of the witnesses have had physical contact with other internet members, nor have received nor sent any kind of correspondence from or to them. I directly contacted all of my candidates via electronic means. I've interacted in one way or another, asynchronously or synchronously, sometimes via live web streaming, with all candidates. Part of my evidence is based on these live events. I mostly felt in varying degrees what they were feeling before, during, and after these events, part of which is accelerated heartbeat, and a few words here and there which I call dubbing. think about talking directly to someone in physical space. Now, think about all the thoughts you have while talking to these people in physical space. Now go a step further. Imagine someone is talking to someone else, or just the camera in physical space. And at the same time, interspersed is a thought dialogue with you. I recorded and timestamped each of these events with screenshots, with descriptions of sensations, and when I could, a word-for-word transcription of the mind conversation. I've included a little bit of everything in the hopes that my records, my work, my experiences, my observations, and those of my teammates will be the way for other researchers to find irrefutable proof or a reputable methodology that can't be sworn off as a hoax, a cheat, or an oversight of the investigator or experiment. We all are risking our reputations and image for this because we feel it's important, because we feel that these advances need to move forward beyond if they exist or not. So far from what I see, science doesn't have the tools to measure all of this. All skeptics do is excuse away experiments for their lack of control. Telepathy doesn't exist and refutes whatever others put forth as an attempt. But these are inner experiences. How do we prove to someone else what's going on inside our head?